Yes, I just had a dream and I was in a city and I was lost and I asked the way. Oh, but before that, oh yes, I asked the way. Before that I met someone who said, well, if you notice when you're away from, they say it's when they're away from England, they get clear on what they want to do with their life. And then they go back perhaps and do it. But you have to get away from and I thought, yes, you have to get away from the turmoil and the distractions so you've got a peace of mind. Well, isn't that just what Elon's hour is in the morning? You just make sure it's your most sensitive time. You may have been in the other world, during the night. And you can come in on God's wavelength now. And you sort your day out in the first hour. In that dream too, incidentally, I woke from the dream in that dream too. It was water, a lot of water, under the ground, and suddenly it gave way and it slooshed down the river, a whole heap of mud and so on. I was safe. I don't mean it was an unsafe situation, but interesting to see the violence of building up pressure of water. Don't know what that was about. But I got to finish the dream with asking someone the way. And then I realised, of course, I'm in a city and I've lost the way and it's God you need. The city, the urban life you see is modern life, the distractions, the confusions, the secularity, the absence of God in your mind. And to find the way, you need Elon's hour. Well, I modified it, as you can see, and you will modify it too, according to your needs, but the essence, the gift is there, isn't it? The teaching. And perhaps it was always so. The Christian would start the day with time of prayer, time with God. And many an earnest Christian and old-fashioned wise would take that time very early in the morning before his work started. Get right with God. Put the day in order. And that's what Elon is still doing, although he doesn't give reference here to a spiritual life. The spirituality is still there, you see, and he knows it's what's made him or perfected him in a way, in the way that he sees it. His hour, first thing of the day, which he keeps actually sacred, whether he owns up to such or not, but in a sense he does. Yes, thank you, Heavenly Dad. Yes, I was in difficulty in the dream, very lost, and various confusing people. This world's an absolute maze without God in your consciousness. When you put him in your consciousness, you've found your bearings, you're on track. And that's what you need. That's what they all need out there. So we encourage people to find it. Start your day well. Bless you. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Yes, whether it's Hindu, meditating first thing in the morning, or Muslim, 5 times a day, or one of them's got to be pretty early in the morning then, isn't it? You're called to prayer, everything stops. They've instituted it into their society. I mean, it's a bit imposing, and well, it alienates the Western mind, that sort of thing, but you can see why they're doing it, can't you? Bring your mind back to your noble purpose. Keep you on track. You know, their religion took a sort of randomized nomadic people in different fractions and worshipping different things and different tribal families and groups, and it marshaled them into a nation that stormed even Persia and took it. Isn't that incredible? It was believed that it was the Persians that were the cause too. They sent their seers to organize North Africa into a power that would challenge the new tyranny they were faced with in Persia. I suppose they didn't realize that it would swamp them as well. Couldn't believe that. Thought they'd be in charge of it, I suppose. And I guess it took quite a while before it came to fruition, but it did in an astonishing way. And Islam took the Mediterranean, Spain, most of it, all over the place. Muslim Empire. I don't mean that was good or bad in the sense of it was a mixture, and of course God had it happen, so I claim it to be good, although it must have been frightening at the time, utterly, for many, many. The power of beliefs. Don't underestimate it. Yes, you want them to be right beliefs, don't you? What are right beliefs? Wow. This is what you're here for on this planet, to find out. When you try the wrong beliefs, well, it has a dramatic effect on changing your beliefs. You seek something else, and you keep seeking until you find. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.
Oh, yes, the river, it leads out of the city. You know, so many of our cities are on rivers, but the simplest way out of the city is to follow the river. And the pressure builds up, and suddenly, whoosh, like a bore only going out to sea instead of inland. The way is clear. You flow out. That's the way to go. The whole of the circumstances show you the way. That's what this world's about. The circumstances you go through and find yourself in show you the way, deliver you, give you a clear river of life way out. Suddenly, you know exactly what you value, where you're going. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. I'll give you my own example. I was seeking, didn't really know what I was seeking, reading spiritual stuff, and I increasingly spent the end of the day, late afternoon, in the quiet room, which was actually belonging to the chaplain of the university, even though it was in the economics department. I was the only one that really used the place. Nobody else almost never came in, nobody. And each day I'd spend an hour or so there and review the day, review what I thought, what I valued. And I came to the conclusion I wanted a simpler job than being, say, international banker to World Bank or something, economist. That wasn't the way to go. I'd get a simple, ordinary job locally that was of value to people. Social work. Applied to be a trainee social worker. Realised I was tired of having girlfriends. I wanted a relationship for life. Wasn't looking for the most beautiful. I'd had a few lovely girls. Wanted someone who was just faithful and true. And I found it in the social work department that I went to, and I had to wait until the May. It was late February when I come to this sort of conclusion. Wait until the course started. Wow. And then, of course, I'd come across Paramahansa's book, Autobiography of a Yogi. I was away. Found my priorities. You could say it was a disaster from a worldly point of view, but it wasn't. I still ended up as a lecturer and so forth. Just a bit later on. So, I'd rather take to Elon's 1 hour video. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.